news left in the wake of the hurry to pass the two-year state budget and get away for a few weeks is a bill that would legalize sports betting in Ohio, which some suggest could be a billion-dollar industry in the state and is already legal in most nearby states. Statehouse correspondent Andy Chow reports on what's on the table for lawmakers when they come back after summer break when it comes to sports betting.
Throws up an air ball. Portis the rebound.
There's a big matchup brewing in Ohio over the future of sports betting, with several players looking to get a win out of the deal. A Senate bill now sits in the Ohio House that would create licenses for mobile betting, in-person betting, and self-service betting using kiosks in different places like bars and bowling alleys. Republican Senator Kirk Scheuring led the discussions over sports betting, which came out of the Senate with bipartisan support. He says state leaders need to approve a plan that takes a free market approach to bring economic value while placing regulatory restrictions. The Senate bill would put the Casino Control Commission in charge of sports betting and create 3 types of licenses. It would allow up to 25 Type A licenses, which lets the license holder host a gambling platform through mobile devices. The bill allows 33 Type B licenses, which lets the holder host gambling in person at a brick-and-mortar sports book, and a Type C license, allowing sports betting to take place through a self-service kiosk. While the Senate bill has put the Casino Control Commission in charge of sports betting, a previous bill in the House wanted the Ohio Lottery to oversee it. Among the major players pushing for legislation at the Statehouse is a coalition representing Ohio's professional sports teams, which includes the Cleveland Browns, Cleveland Cavs, Columbus Blue Jackets, Columbus Crew, and the Cincinnati Reds.
I wouldn't call this a crisis. It's just a missed opportunity for Ohio. And I think the legislature realizes it. The legislature, I believe, wanted to get it done at the end of June. They just ran out of time.
Kurt Steiner is a lobbyist and spokesperson for the Ohio Professional Sports Teams Coalition. He says allowing teams to host sports betting through mobile apps and brick-and-mortar sports books is being done in other states and is another way teams can engage their fans.
And they're missing opportunities to do that when their fans and those who are following their games are betting in other states, betting in neighboring states, betting online in offshore betting sites. They're missing an opportunity for fan engagement. So it's a good business opportunity, and it's a good fan engagement opportunity.
Other players vying for a part of the sports betting industry, but mostly left out so far, are restaurants, bars, bowling alleys, and other hospitality organizations, calling themselves the Fair Gaming Coalition of Ohio. David Corey is Executive Vice President of the Bowling Center Association of Ohio and is part of the Fair Gaming Coalition. With all the money pouring into lobbying and potential revenue up for grabs, he's asking lawmakers to remember smaller organizations.
That the pie is big enough, and really all we're asking for with the kiosks is a very, very, very small piece of the pie. But it seems like the big guys don't even want us to have a little tiny piece of the pie. And again, we need the legislature to address the fact that this will help Ohio's small businesses, hospitality establishments.
Among Corey's biggest concerns is the timing of it all. He says the state should make sure the different elements of sports betting go into effect simultaneously.
We have to hit the on button at the same time for all the stakeholders. Again, if you let the mobile sports apps go first before we have kiosks, okay, they're going to get the bulk of the market anyway. We all know that, between the casinos and the online gaming, they're going to capture 90 to 95% of the market. So people will get used to going to those locations and, the casinos and the racinos to place their bets and the professional sports team locations to place their bets than on kiosks in bowling centers, for example.
The U.S. Supreme Court ruled in 2018 that sports betting was legal and that states could create the framework for gaming, Since then, 21 states and the District of Columbia have passed legislation that legalizes sports betting in some way, including all but one state surrounding Ohio. The Senate had tried to push through its sports betting bill last month by attaching it to a measure to create veteran ID cards, a move that was unanimously rejected in the House. It was a reaction to the House's addition of a controversial ban on trans athletes in women's sports, to the Senate's popular bill allowing college athletes to benefit from their name, image, and likeness. That all happened as the budget was being negotiated. House Speaker Bob Cupp said at the time it would have been an extremely high lift to get sports betting done, and that he wanted a thorough committee process. And there remain questions about whether state lawmakers can even expand gambling, or whether that would have to be a constitutional amendment approved by voters. Andy Chow, Statehouse News Bureau.